We live on a planet that has given us everything: air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat, and a beautiful environment to live in. From the tallest mountains to the deepest oceans, from the smallest insects to the largest animals, every part of Earth is connected. This planet is not just a place we live in, it is our home. Yet, despite all that Earth provides us, we often forget to take care of it. Over time, human activities have caused serious damage to the environment. Forests are being cut down, rivers are getting polluted, animals are losing their homes, and the climate is changing rapidly. The natural balance that once existed is slowly being disturbed. Earth Day reminds us to pause and think, what are we giving back to the planet that gives us everything? The importance of World Earth Day lies not only in celebration, but in realization and responsibility. It is a day that reminds us that Earth's future depends on the actions we take today. This year's theme, Our Planet, Our Power, is a powerful message that highlights our role in shaping the future. It tells us that we are not just inhabitants of this planet, we are caretakers. The power to protect, preserve, and restore the earth lies within us. Power does not always mean doing something big. It begins with simple actions. Saving electricity, reducing plastic usage, planting trees, conserving water, and keeping our surroundings clean. These are small steps, but when millions of people follow them, they create a big impact. Our power also lies in awareness. When we understand the problems around us, we become more responsible. Awareness leads to action, and action leads to change. Now we would like to present a drama on environmental awareness. Today's drama takes a very special perspective. It tells us the story of a tree. A tree that silently gives us so much. It gives us oxygen to breathe, shade to rest, fruits to eat, and a home for birds and animals. It stands strong through heat, rain, and storms, asking for nothing in return. But sadly, trees are often cut down without thought. We forget their importance until it's too late. This drama shows the life of a tree, its importance, its pain, and its silent contribution to our lives. It reminds us that when we destroy trees, we are destroying our own future.
ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ 100 ಭಾವ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು.
ಹೌದು ಗೆಳೆಯರೇ, ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಯಾವ ನಾಟಕ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ? ಇರುವುದು ಅದರ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಕುತ್ತು ತಂದಂತೆ.
ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಗಳಿಗೆ, ಲವರ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಲಾಲ್ ಬಾಗ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕಬಲ್ ಬಾಗ್ ಬೇಕು. ಆದರೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಹುಟ್ಟೋಕೆ ಮೂಲ ಕಾರಣವೇ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಗಾಳಿಯನ್ನು ಮರೆತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಹಣದ ಮೂಲಕ ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದು. ಹಣ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅನ್ನುವ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಈ ದುರಾಂಕಾರವೇ ಈ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ತಂದಿತು.
ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮಂತೆ ಜೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ, ಪಕ್ಷಿ, ಕ್ರಿಮಿ ಕೀಟಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಲು ಸಮಾನ ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ.
ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಪರಿಸರವನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡದೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಸರ್ವನಾಶ ಖಂಡಿತ.
ಸರ್ವನಾಶ ಖಚಿತ.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಸರ್ವನಾಶ ಖಂಡಿತ.
One, two, three, four. ಬಾಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಹಸಿರಾಗಿ ತೋರಣದ ಹಸಿರಾಗಿ ಗಿಡವಾಗಿ ಮರವಾಗಿ ನಿನಗಾಗಿ ಜೊತೆಯಾಗಿ ನಾನಿರುವೆ. ಮರವೆಲ್ಲೋ ಜನರಲ್ಲೇ, ಮರದಿಂದ ಜನರಂತೆ, ಮರವೆಲ್ಲೋ ಜನರಲ್ಲೇ, ಮರದಿಂದ ಜನರಂತೆ.
The drama beautifully showed us how our daily actions impact the environment. It reminded us that we often take nature for granted, forgetting that it is the very source of our existence. The message is clear: if we harm nature, we harm ourselves. But the good news is we can still make a difference. By making simple changes in our lifestyle, we can protect our planet. Let us promise ourselves today that we will be more responsible towards our environment. Now, I would like to invite Gopinath Desai, student of LLM, to give an overview on the importance of World Earth Day.
Respected deans and all the faculty members and the students. This World Earth Day, the concept evolved in the 1970 by US Senator G. Nelson and Davis Hicks. Why this World Earth Day is celebrated particularly in the month of April? It is because the spring vacation falls on this month. The concept behind it is to gather more number of students, and they have gathered around 10 million students on that day. So this marks the 56th year of International World Earth Day. And the concept is not very new. In fact, when you look into the historical background or in the ancient India, see, we consider Earth, Prithvi, as goddesses. So I will quote one shloka from Veda. This is Samudra Vasne Devi Parvatastanamchu Vishnu Bhakti Namastuvyam Padastashokshamye. That means, O Mother Earth, kindly forgive me because my feet touches your pure land. This is the concept of respect and the dedication to the earth we have in the ancient India. And when it comes to the legal aspect, we have a lot of references, particularly in Garuda Purana, as well as in Manusmriti, as well as in Kautilya Shastra. See, the punishment for polluting the earth as well as the environment with the grave consequences, they have a lot of punishments. In spite of, we have international declarations like Stockholm and Rio, and we have a state-of-art legislature for Environmental Protection Act, Earth Act, Air Act, Water Act, as well as there is directive principle of state policy in Article 51 and 48, and also unenumerated rights judicial expansion of Article 21 by Honorable Supreme Court, the NC Mehta series. Why it is only in the books, not in action. So the beauty of this celebration is, it is awareness all these years. But now we should move from awareness to the actions. That is the current theme of World Earth Day. Our power, our planet. See, we have created a lot of awareness, particularly in the schools, colleges, international forums, as well as when judiciary also stepped in. Whenever there is a legislative gaps, particularly when it comes to protection of the environment. So Green Tribunal is doing wonderful job, but still we have certain constitutional silences and legislative gaps. So to fulfill that, our judiciary also playing a significant role. So in that sense, we should greatly appreciate NC Mehta's contribution, particularly in PIM, to protect the environment. And when the world is suffering with a lot of diseases, global warming, and health hazards, so today is the need of the hour. We need to protect and we need to act initially with the local concept, then only we can contribute to the global. That is called the globalization model, what we can adopt right now. The next important theme of our World Earth Day 26 is our power, our planet. So, as I said in the beginning, in the historical context, we consider Earth, Prithvi, Ap, Tejo, Vayu, that is called Panchamahabhutas. We see God in every environment, even in the air and water. That adoption is very much needed in the current education system. So what are the need of our challenges what we are facing right now? One is the climate crisis. As you all aware, it is the global warming which is causing a lot of heat strokes, and people are dying because of the heat strokes and extreme environmental changes. There is no equilibrium in the environment because of the global warming, excessive usage of plastic, excessive usage of fossils. All those things are contributing factors for the health hazards. This is one of the need of the hour we need to address. Second important thing is rising energy demands. Because of global warming, the global usage of air conditioner, the chlorofluorocarbons, which is causing a lot of health hazards. So that is the reason we should control, we should invent certain innovative practices, particularly when it comes to the solar energy panels. So Government of India has adopted a very good scheme. By 2030, every house should come up with a solar panels, along with the contribution of France. It is almost 1 trillion investment plan. So these are all the certain innovative energy sources which we need to adopt for our future generation. Otherwise, we are going to face a lot of crisis as well as health problems. Urgent shift to renewable energies, community-driven action is the key. This is a very core concept of today's project. We have created a number of awareness. Everything is there in the books, everything is there in the social media, but what actions we really take, that matters in today's session. The core objectives of transfer awareness into action, empower communities. Let us start with the individual responsibility, make it family contributions, society, then only we can go into a global approach. Adopt renewable energy solutions, promote sustainable lifestyles. These are very, very important. Even our United Nations Council in 17 sustainable goals, particularly one important aspect is the planet and earth and the ocean. So these are the things we need to focus currently in this crisis times. And what action plan basically we need to adopt when it comes to sustainable development goals. Solar panels in households, this is a very small initiative, and government is also providing a lot of subsidies for these solar panels. Community solar grids, wherever a lot of space is available, we can contribute to the government. Now government is buying solar energy, electricity. Awareness driven in villages as well as in cities, this is very, very important. Local sustainability committees. So in fact, DLSA is also contributing the, save lakes and waste management. So all those things are there in the judiciary part. We need a state-of-art legislature, particularly a very strict, finishable legislation is needed. And tree plantation drives, of course, we need to greatly appreciate the NGO's role, particularly in community tree plantation drives. And every year we are planting more than 10 lakh trees all over India. This is a very good concept what we need to adopt right now. And when it comes to the institutional level, schools and colleges, of course, I am very happy to share these concepts. Of course, it is also one of the programs what we are organizing in our CMR University. And corporate ESG initiatives. This is very, very important. So social governance, environment and social governance along with the CSR contribution. Government subsidies and policies, we need to create more awareness, particularly in the rural areas, because government have come up with a lot of subsidies and plans for the solar energies and renewable energies and biogas plants. Now we are facing a lot of crisis when it comes to the CNG and LPG gases. And in that sense, biogas plants are very much needed and needed. And public-private partnerships, of course, we have initiated a lot of CSR contributions in this. And what are the focuses, particularly when it comes to the renewable energies? Solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, bioenergy, and local energy independence. These are the sectors we need to focus and need to create awareness as well as chemical action. Certain behavioral changes, of course, avoiding plastic, reducing individual vehicles, using more of public transportations. All those things are very small contributions, but it acts significantly in reducing the pollution as well as can great contribution to saving Earth. And technology innovations. Now, India come up with the biggest solar project that is called Surya Graha Yojana. It is in contribution with France. Smart grids and every house will come up with solar panels in by 2030. And I will conclude my listing with quotes from our ancient text. So we consider Prithvi as a goddesses. And there is a quote called Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Bhumi Rupena Samskritaha. So we should treat our environment, not only the earth, all the Panchamahabhutas, particularly the air, water, sky, treat as a goddesses, and we should leave this earth for our future generations. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gopinath, for this insightful speech. Now, I would like to call upon Ziana George, student of LLM, to give us a perspective of World Earth Day from an international perspective.
Good morning to all the professors, Dean Sir and everybody present over here. My name is Ziana George and I am a student of LLM Constitutional Law. So to begin with, Earth Day is not a celebration of our planet. It is a moment of reflection that actually complies us to question that how do we define progress. So whenever we speak about development, the first thing that comes to our mind is developing the urban infrastructure, industrialization, economic growth. But do we ever question that how this progress will actually affect our environment? So it is very important for us to understand that development cannot come at the cost of the environment. It has to exist, it must exist in harmony. So this is where the idea of sustainable development arises. So sustainable development is basically a type of model that we are preserving the resources not to meet the need of present generations only, but also to meet with the needs of future generations, so that in future they do not have to compromise upon their needs. So there are different frameworks, international perspectives that have spoken that how countries can come together and protect our environment and how they can redefine the balance between economic, social and environmental priorities. So to speak about all these frameworks, because there are a lot of frameworks, so you cannot speak about them in just 5 minutes. But to give a gist, a small background behind these frameworks, so one of the most important framework goes with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So this was adopted in 2015 and it laid down 17 goals that how would you protect the environment in an integrated manner. So it not only emphasizes upon climate change, but it also looks on different issues concerning poverty, inequality. So another landmark framework that we can see in the area of sustainable development is COP21. So this was the major framework which ultimately led us to the Paris Agreement. So everyone must be well versed with Paris Agreement because that is one of the most important legislations when we see international intellectual property trade law or any other international frameworks concerning with it. So the Paris Agreement, it did speak about a lot of things, a list of things was laid down under this agreement. But the major thing why it is considered as important is because it recognizes the principle of equity and it acknowledges that all the countries have come together to protect the environment and to ensure that there is greater responsibility on all the countries to set the climate targets. So now coming to countries like India, at national level we do have different principles that recognizes how do we protect our environment. There are different principles, there are different doctrines, there are different legislations that ensures that we focus on renewable energy, we see climate resilience and sustainable urban development. But in reality, all of them exist in text and statutes, and we never know how effectively it is being implemented. So sustainable development is therefore not just an environmental concern, it is a matter of justice. It raises critical questions like who benefits from the development, who bears the cost of the environment harm, and how can we ensure that no one is left behind. So on this Earth Day, we the people have to take the responsibility that the protection of environment is not only the concern of these international frameworks, this government or any other international institutions. It is responsibility of each one of us to protect our very important earth. So this can be done through conscious choices, informed decisions, meaningful actions, and that is how we can build a world that is based on a sustainable future. Because if there is no earth, there will be no us. So as a good citizen, as a good person, it is our responsibility to protect our mother nature. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Siana, for that introspective piece. I would be honored to welcome our beloved Dean, D.R. Subramania, sir, to deliver
A very good morning to all of you present here. Now today we celebrate the Earth Day. Now most of you may not be knowing the jurisprudence which is developed at the international level for the protection of the environment. In the year 1971, the World Development and Environment has requested all the states to fill in a form and submit it to the same body. And when all the states received this, when they were asked to do it, they had to do a lot of research. But it was asking a few questions which I just intend to bring to your knowledge. What exactly is the area that is covered by forest in our country? How much of forest cover has disappeared after the United Nations came into existence on October 24th, 1945? Then what type of species are known? Remember, in your country. What special features do you have about the species in your country? How many of them approximately were alive in 1945 and how many of them have disappeared? And how many of them have become extinct? And what are the type of trees which were prevalent and known in each of the districts or in each of the states in your country? How many of them have disappeared and completely extinct? Now, the government of India appointed a committee on National Committee on Environment Protection and Coordination. But at that time it had 14 members. And these 14 members had good knowledge because they were from the civil service. They had done a wonderful work, and after completing the work, before submitting it they submitted before the parliamentary delegation. And the very report was a horror because some of the animals and species almost have become extinct in this country. They were not alive. Of those who are alive in this country, 3/4 of them have disappeared. And conservation measures in 1971 has not been taken into consideration at all. The story was palpable, and this is the story of almost all the countries in the world. And with this report, remember, the international community called for a conference at Stockholm in 1972. So there is a reason behind it. And when they called a conference in 1972, which is called the first conference on human environment, there is so much relating to each of the countries, so much of material. And the material which was submitted by each country was a foolproof, it was a hard fact. And they had to look into this and afterwards had to take a decision. That is where the deliberation went on for 15 days and it had adopted 26 principles. And the 26 principles, when they adopted, it is for the protection of Mother Earth. That is what we celebrate today. And afterwards, remember, 20 years later, in order to remember the 20 years of the Stockholm Conference, they celebrated at Rio. That is what is called as the Rio Declaration. Now, the Rio Declaration had 27 principles. And you will be interested to know what exactly are these 27 principles. One principle happened to be the concept of sustainable development. So the concept of sustainable development, remember, is not given by the international community. Madam Brundtland was appointed as a chairman of a committee to protect the Mother Earth. And she was appointed, and afterwards, remember, having worked seriously, this lady from Norway gave the report. And the name of the report is Our Common Future. In the report, Our Common Future, this lady actually spoke about the concept of sustainable development. Most of you sitting here do not know what exactly is sustainable development. Sustainable development is a continuing concept. You during your time, your lifetime, is supposed to protect the environment. And on your death, on your passing away, on your leaving this Mother Earth, your successors, your children will have to take care of it. And on their death, the children who come after them will have to take care of it. That is what is called as intergenerational development. So a continuum concept was brought in by Madam Brundtland, that every generation which is on this earth should take care of the environment, come what may. And use the environment in a limited extent, only to the extent which is required for the international community, for the national community, for the health. Now there are several developments have taken place and several conventions have taken place. After the Rio Declaration came in, the Convention on Climate Change. Then came in the Biological Diversity Convention. India, it was adopted in 1992, India became a party to it and adopted a convention and ratified the International Convention in 2002. Subsequently, in order to protect the environment and the rising heat which was taking place in many parts of the world, and even what we call as the ice was actually burning in the Himalayas as well as in Turkey. So in order to save this, they had adopted what we call as the Kyoto Protocol in 1997. For the first time, it used what we call as the development of clean energy. Then thereafter, remember in the year 2000, they adopted another protocol which is known as Athena Protocol. And in the year 2010, they adopted another document which is called as Nagoya Protocol. Now that is essentially protect the environment based on the principle of equity as told by somebody here. Now it is going on, it is going on. Now you might be knowing in the year 2015 the Climate Change Convention had taken place. Remember the Climate Change Convention was taken place after, remember, about 2015 plus 8, 23 years of discussion. Don't be under the impression that the Climate Change Convention was adopted instantly. It did not come overnight. Members of the international community, 190 states or more than 190 states participated every year. And it discussed how to protect Mother Earth. And in order to protect Mother Earth, remember there should be increase of forest. There should be reduction of the fossil fuel energy. There should be the stoppage of the rising heat and temperatures. In certain parts of the world, remember temperature was rising every year 2 degrees centigrade. Immediately they said that it should be brought down to 1 or 1.5 degrees centigrade. If 2 degrees centigrade were to rise, imagine last year the temperature of Bangalore had gone to 41. In Delhi it has gone to 49. So that means this year it will be 51 there and in Bangalore it will be 43. 5 years hence we will be able to survive. These are the basic questions which were discussed. And the government of India immediately when it ratified decided to spend, remember, $300 billion for the protection of the environment. It may be surprised. $300 billion, remember they said by 2030, we will be in a position to produce power, avoiding what we call as fossil fuel energy to the extent required. And they said by 2030 we will be in a position to produce 500 gigawatts of power. If I give you the statistics of 2025, December 31st, already India has, remember, from 2.2 gigapower watts has gone up to 160. That is a miracle and achievement which is being done. Now in 2014, before the new government came in, how many air conditions were there and how many are there today? How many power plants have come today? Remember it is true. That is why it was saying 162 megawatts are produced. Power is being produced through alternative sources of energy. Now you may ask me, what is this alternative source of energy? When I speak about the alternative source of energy, one is the solar energy. And we have to shift to the solar energy. The second one happened to be the wind energy. Go to the roads, both in Tamil Nadu as well as Karnataka. As and when you cross, remember, Tumkur, you find the wind energy production. And through Bidar, you find all these things. And power is generated through wind energy and is being sold to the electric authorities of India. And that is where, remember, the use of fossil fuel to that extent is reduced. And it is very much essential. Now the other one happened to be the solar. When I speak of solar, the person who spoke about it did not give the statistics. I will just give you 11.88 million houses are being constructed and it is occupied. And they are given what we call as the power through solar energy. This is what is India is all about. And in addition to this, bulbs which are made of, what is it called? Anybody? That bulb is being given to 37 crores of people in this country. So that there is no use of making use of what we call as the solar, the fossil fuel. No, these are some of the developments which is taking place in India very seriously. But then because of the rising population, water resources, scarcity of water, you might be knowing you have a Jal ministry at the central government level. And the main purpose of Jal ministry, Jal Yojana ministry, remember, is to increase the water sources. The state of India became a party to the Ramsar Convention. Right? Under the Ramsar Convention, before you become a party, each state is supposed to have 2 lakes. India did not have one, but although Bangalore had almost 70 plus lakes, now India today has 96 lakes. As of today, I am giving you the latest statistics. How many? 96 lakes you have. Now you may ask me, what is the purpose of lakes? The purpose of having lakes is to increase the ground level water. And afterwards, remember, it helps you to store the water during flood. And the water will remain. That is why, remember, here also, in Bangalore also, a lot of things are going on, discussions are taking place, how to bring back those lakes wherein construction has already taken place. And most of the areas wherein flood used to visit, remember, happened to be lakes earlier during the time of Kempe Gowda and his successors. And it is because of the mafias, land mafias, all of them are converted into flats. And half the flats are covered by water during rainy season. This has to be stopped, come what may. These are a few steps which are being taken by the government of India. In addition to solar energy and wind energy, you have the other things, thermal power stations which are being established in this country. Just take the statistics, how many thermal power stations have come in India after 2014. Then, how many hydroelectric projects have come in this country? Hydroelectric projects are actually contributing 10% to 12% of renewable energy in this country. Now, these are certain things which are being taken ultimately to protect the environment so that everyone gets the benefit. And in order to save the Mother Earth, these are the steps which are to be taken. One important point I just intend to bring home is, remember, man's reckless acts against the environment and nature have boomeranged. It has hit back. It is only our reckless acts, as the drama shows. Remember, ultimately, I don't know whether I should say this or not. The government of Karnataka itself has, remember, encroached 100 acres of land. On the other hand, the central government of India has given an undertaking to the treaty when it signed. We are going to increase the forest cover by 5 million acres, 5 million hectares of land. And of the 5 million hectares of land, when we signed the treaty in 2016, in the month of December, we have promised them. When we signed the treaty, India had only 97 million acres of land. Today, the forest cover has gone up to 114 million plus. That is where we have done. When things are going like that, remember what is happening here. 100 acres of land is removed from the forest cover. This should not happen. These are a few things which I just intend to bring in on this day. This is a very serious matter. Remember, If environment is protected, both of us will, all of you, me, will not be here. Temperature, if it goes up to 45, remember, you will be in a position to see that's happening in the open site. They will not be able to sustain the difficulties. In Bihar, both during winter and during summer, how many deaths are taking place? And very, if you take the statistics in the last, from 47 till this date, every year a minimum of 1,000 people die due to excessive winter and excess of heat. And this has nothing to do with the floods, famine, pestilence, and other diseases. And this has to be taken care. The government of India is doing its best, especially to protect the environment, and it has signed. One last point happened to be a point which was noted by our Sadhguru at the last COP, which was held in Abu Dhabi. He went to the extent of pointing out, in order to save the groundwater, in order to increase the level of groundwater, remember, in all the river basins, for example, you take Kaveri takes its birth near Madikeri, Bagmandi, and ultimately it joins the sea somewhere after Metro, maybe near Kumbhakonam. On the river basin, on either side, you have to plant trees. And if you plant trees, naturally, remember, it will absorb water. Once it absorbs water, it will go down and it will preserve water. And that water, which is being saved, will spread over into acres of land. And then one will be able to make use of it during summer session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your thought-provoking words of wisdom. They've surely left a powerful impact. We will ensure that we adhere by your enlightened guidance. Today's theme is not just about the environment. It is about building a better world. A world where people respect nature, treat each other equally, and make informed decisions. That is why today's program not only includes just environmental awareness, but also social awareness through a meaningful drama. Now we present our next drama on casteism and superstition. Even in today's modern society, we often see people divided by caste and influenced by blind beliefs. These two issues may seem different, but they are closely connected. Both are based on old ideas that create fear, inequality, and misunderstanding among people. Casteism divides people by birth and takes away equality and respect. Superstition controls people through fear and stops them from thinking logically. When these two come together, they can harm individuals and society deeply. This drama shows us how blind beliefs and caste-based thinking affect people's lives and decisions. It reminds us that true progress comes only when we treat everyone equally and think with knowledge and not fear. Let us watch this meaningful and thought-provoking performance.
Dance, oh beta, dance, oh beta, oh beta, dance, oh beta, oh beta, dance, oh beta, oh sugare swantamani, nirugari
ತಪಸ್ಸಿನ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ. ನಾನಿವತ್ತು ರಾಜಕೀಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಪಡೆಯೋಕೆ ಮೂಲ ಕಾರಣ ಇವನು ಒಬ್ಬ. ಹಾ, ಚಿಂತಿಸಬೇಡ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪರಿಹಾರ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಹೌದು, ಈ ಹೆಣ ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತೀರಾ? ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀಚ ಕುಲದವರಿಗೆ ಊರಿನ ಸ್ಮಶಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗವಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನಿದ್ದರೂ ಊರಾಚೆ ತಿಪ್ಪೆಯನ್ನು ಬಿಸಾಕಿ.
ಸತ್ತು ಮೇಲಾದ್ರೂ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡವರಾದ್ರೂ ನೀವು ಜಾತಿಯನ್ನು ಪಟ್ಟಣ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಸತ್ತು ಶವವು.
ನಡಿ ನಡಿ, ಹೆಣದ ವಾಸನೆ.
ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂತು. ಈ ಸಲಿನೂ ಕುರ್ಚಿ ನಿಂದೆ.
ಕಳ್ಸೋ ಎಣ್ಣೆನ ಕೇಳ್ರು. ಈ ಸತಿನೂ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ರೂ ಓಟು ನನ್ಗೆ ಬೀಳ್ಬೇಕು.
ನಿನ್ನ ಗುಂಡಾಗಿರಿ ಆಡಳಿತಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಗಂಡಸರಿಗೆ ಗುಂಡಾಕ್ಸೋ ನೀನ್ ಗಂಡಸ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀನ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಸೀರೆ ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಊರಾಚೆ ಬಿಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಅವಾಗಲೇ ನಿನ್ನ ಕೊಂದು ಬಿಡೋಣ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ನಾವು ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಐತೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ.
ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರ? ಅರಿವಿದೆನೋ ನಮ್ದು ಈ ಊರಿಗೆ ಮೇಲ್ವರ್ಗದ ವಂಶ.
ಕುಂಭವು ಮಣ್ಣಿದ್ದಾದರೇನು, ಚಿನ್ನದ್ದಾದರೇನು, ಮಡಿಕೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಗಂಗಾಜಲವಿದ್ದರೇನು, ಮದುರೆಯ ನೀರ ಇದ್ದರೇನು, ಅದರೊಳಗಾವರಿಸಿರುವ ಆಕಾಶದ ಅವಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ, ಗಾಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಬೆಳಕಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲು ಕೀಳು ಎಂಬುದಿದೆ. ನಿನ್ನ ಈ ರಾಜಕೀಯದ ಪದವಿಯನ್ನು ನಿನ್ನ ರೀತಿ ನಿವಾಸಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿರಿಸೋ.
ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮುಗಿಲಿ, ನಿನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ.
ತಾಳಲೇ. ಯಾರೋ ಎದ್ದಾಗ ನಗುವುದು ಅದು ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹ. ಅದೇ ಯಾರೋ ಬಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಗುವುದು ಅದು ಅಹಂಕಾರ. ನಿನ್ನ ಪಾಪದ ಕೊಡ ತುಂಬಿ ತುಳುಕಿದೆ ಕುಬೇರ. ನನ್ನ ಕೈ ಮೀರಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ನಡೆಯೋ ಮುಂಚೆ ಜಾಗ ಖಾಲಿ ಮಾಡೋ ಮರುಳ.
ನಿನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ ಕಣೋ.
ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್
ಅಣ್ಣ ಅಣ್ಣ, ನಮ್ದು ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ನಂದ ಲವ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರ್ ಅಣ್ಣೋ.
It is a very critical inquiry. I have to designly think for this and then write down your issue orally. Oh, this is it.
ನಿಮ್ದು ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಣ್ಣ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ.
ಅಂತ ಎಂದರೇನು, ಅಲ್ಲವೇನು, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕಾಣದಂತ ರೂಪರಾಶಿ ನೀನು. ವಾಸ್ತವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದರೆ bye.
ಕಾಯಿಸಿ ಕಮ್ಮಾರನಾದ, ಮೀಸಿ ಮಡಿವಳನಾದ, ಮೇಯಿಸಿ ಕುರುಬನಾದ, ನೇಯ್ದು ನೇಕಾರನಾದ, ಊದಿ ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಗನಾದ, ಓದಿ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣನಾದ. ಕಸ್ತೂರನ ಕುರ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಈ ಜಾತಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಥ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು ಮನುಷ್ಯತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚೋಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕುಲಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ಕುಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಮಾನವನ ಕುಲ. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ಗೌರವ ಅದು ಆತ್ಮಗೌರವ. ಒಂದು ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾತಿ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆದರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಧರ್ಮಾಧಿಕಾರಿ ಭಕ್ತರಿಗೆ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಸೂಚನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಭಕ್ತರಿಗೆ ಯಾಮಾರಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋಣ. ಅದೊಂದು ದಿನ ಧರ್ಮರಾಜರು ನರಕದಲ್ಲಿ
ಡೈಲಿ ಎತ್ತೆತ್ತಾಗ್ದಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಭುಗಳೇ.
ಏನು ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಭೂಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಪಿಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಹೋಗೋಣ.
ಪಿಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಏನೋ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ವೀಸಾ ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್
ನೋ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕರಿಕೋಣ.
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಹೆಸರು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಂತ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರ ಜನರ ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದು.
ಹೌದು ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ನಿಜಾನೇ. ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಂಬೆ, ಊರ್ವಶಿ, ಮೇಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ.
ರಂಬೆ, ಊರ್ವಶಿ, ಮೇಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ.
ಹೌದು ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ನಿಜಾನೇ. ಈ ಊರಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲದಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಓ ಪಡ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಯಾರಪ್ಪ?
ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸೇವೆಯ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೂವನ್ನ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಹುಡುಗುವಾರ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಸಿಗ್ತೈತೆ ಹೋಗು ಸೀದಾ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಮಗೆ ಗಾಡು
ಹುಚ್ಚಾನಂದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹುಚ್ಚಾನಂದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ
ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳೇ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳೇ ನನ್ನ ಕೈ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳೇ
ಮಗು ಬಾಯಿಲಿ
ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳೇ
ಬಾಯಿಲಿ
ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆಯಾಗಿ 3 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಳೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನಂದ್ರಿ? 24 ಗಂಟೆ ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ ಜಪ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠತೆಯನ್ನು ಮೆಚ್ಚಿ ಈ ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನೇ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ.
ಆಯ್ತು ಮೊದಲು ಕರೆಯಮ್ಮ ನೀನು
ಮಗನೇ, ಮಗಳೇ,
ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಕನಸು, ನನಸು.
ಕನಸಲ್ಲ ಕನಸು ಅಖಂಡ ಭಾರತ ಆಳಿದ ಇಚ್ಛಾನಂದ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ್ಯ ನಿನ್ನ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗೆ
ಇನ್ನು ನಿನ್ನಾಟ ನಡೆಯದು.
ಓಹೋ, ನಂದಕುಮಾರ ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ.
ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ವಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಿ ಯಾವುದು ತಪ್ಪು ಯಾವುದು? ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ ನೀತಿ ನಿಯಮಗಳೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರಪಳೆ.
ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದವನೇ ನಾನು. ಅಧರ್ಮ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ನೀನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ತಪ್ಪೆ.
ಯಾವುದು ಧರ್ಮ ಯಾವುದು ಅಧರ್ಮ? ಈ ಮನುಷ್ಯರೆಲ್ಲ ಮೂರ್ಖರು. ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೇ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಇದ್ದರು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬರುವರು. ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡ ಏನು ಸಹಚಾರ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೋಪಿಕೆಯರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇರುವೆ?
ನೀನು ಧರ್ಮಾದಿ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಕೊಡುವೆ ಅಂತ ನಂಬಿ ಬಂದ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಭಕ್ತರಿವರು. ಆದರೆ ನೀನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವುದು ದ್ರೋಹ, ಧರ್ಮ ದ್ರೋಹ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಸಾವು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿಯೇ ಬಂದಿರುವೆನು ನಾನು.
ನಾನು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೋಟಿ ದೇವರು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ಚಂದರು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿನ್ನಿಂದ ಇದು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. ನಡೆ ನಡೆ.
ಇನ್ನು ನಿನ್ನ ಅಂತ್ಯ ನನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ.
ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಬಾ, ಒಂದು ಕೈ ನೋಡೋಣ.
ಅಧರ್ಮ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವತಾರ ತಾಳಿ ನಾನು ಬರುವೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಸರಿ, ರಕ್ಕಸನನ್ನು ಸೋಲಿಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪಿಸಲು ನಾನು ಬಂದೇ ಬರುವೆ.
ನೋಡಿ CMR ಪ್ರೇಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ನಿಮ್ಮಂತ ಮೋಸ ಹೋಗೋರಿರೋವರೆಗೂ ಇವರನ್ನ ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡೋರಿದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ದುಡ್ಡು, ಅಧಿಕಾರ, ಕತ್ತಿ, ಗುರಾಣಿ, ಬಂದೂಕು ಇವು ಯಾವ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಯುಧ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ನಮ್ಮೂರಿನ ಹಾಡು ಹಸೆಗಳು, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯಗಳೇ ನಮಗೆ ಅಸ್ತ್ರ ಶಸ್ತ್ರ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸ್ತ್ರ. ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ
ಪಾತ್ರ ಪರಿಚಯ. ಎನ್ವೈರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲಬಾರಿ ಸಿಂಧು, ಯಮಧರ್ಮರಾಜ ಆಗಿ ಸಂಕಲ್, ಬರ ಕಡಿಯವನಾಗಿ ಭುವನ್, ಹುಡುಗ ಆಗಿ ರಾಮಪ್ರಕಾಶ್, ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿಶ್ವನಾಥ್, ಹೆಂಡತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಹಾಗೂ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಆಗಿ ಪವನ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಶಾಬಾಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಾಗಿ ಅಭಿಷೇಕ್, ಅಮ್ಮನಾಗಿ ಮಂಜುತಿ, ಹೆಣ ಕೂಡಿದ ಮಂಜು ಹಾಗೂ ಚಿತ್ರಗುಪ್ತ, ಗುಡ್ಕ ಹಾಗೂ ಧರ್ಮಾದೇವಿ ಹರ್ಷ.
This drama clearly showed us how caste discrimination and superstition can control people's minds and create injustice. It reminded us that when we stop questioning and and to choose truth and understanding over ignorance and fear. As we come to the end of today's program, let us reflect deeply on the messages we have received. World Earth Day is not just about one day of awareness. It is about being a lifelong commitment. It is about understanding that every action we take has an impact on our planet and on our society. The performances we witnessed today taught us valuable lessons. They reminded us that protecting the environment, promoting equality, and rejecting blind beliefs are a part of building a better world. The theme, Our Planet, Our Power, once again reminds us that the future is in our hands. We are not powerless. Every small effort counts. Every reasonable action matters. If we begin with ourselves, we can influence others. If we work together, we can create real change. Let us make a promise today to care for our environment, to treat every person with respect and equality, and to think with knowledge and awareness. Let us not limit these thoughts to today. Let us carry them with our daily lives and make them a part of who we are. A better planet does not need perfect people, it needs responsible people. Before we conclude, I would like to express a heartfelt gratitude to all those who made this event possible. A sincere thank you to Gayatri ma'am for your constant guidance and support. Thank you Manushri ma'am for your encouragement and motivation. Thank you Vidya ma'am for your valuable efforts and coordination. A special thanks to our respected director Vijay Kanish and our respected Dean sir for your vision and leadership in making this event a success. Finally, thank you to all the participants and the audience for being part of this meaningful celebration. Let us remember